why Metasys as a topic of discussion? So from my perspective, Metasys is the brains of the operations. Traditionally, we've had a very strong focus on the cooling infrastructure. As we have evolved the last few years in our portfolio, we are now focusing on the power infrastructure also. These are the two most critical pieces of systems within a data center space. So what I want to do is talk through really about the growth over the next few years, because it paints the picture of how critical it is on what we do and what it means to us, and the outcomes that Metasys drives. So as the center of truth, as the brains behind all the power, it is critical on what we do next. Here on this slide, real takeaway from it, and what I want everyone to focus on, is we're talking about a 3 times capacity growth by 2030. This deck came from McKinsey. It's probably already outdated, really based off 2023 data. It is forecasting 150 gigawatts by 2030 globally. 1/3 of that being AI infrastructure, but still we can't forget on non-AI compute. So what that means for the space that we're cooling and the space that we're controlling drives those outcomes. It changes our behaviors on how we cool those spaces. We know we have about a 20% compounded growth year on year for AI applications, but still 2/3, 100 gigawatts globally, is by standard cloud compute. That drives the behaviors in the way we design our cooling infrastructure and our power infrastructure. One thing I do want to highlight here, due to the application, cooling or power is not necessarily proportional to the IT growth, right? We're talking about a higher density environment here. So the higher the density, the hotter it gets, but not proportional. We recycle heat. That growth, now we have a picture, we've got 3 times growth. We're talking about 150 gigawatts globally. That drives how we design our data centers. In the next 6 years, we are meant to be building out 100 gigawatts. How do you build out 100 gigawatts? 3 times of what you currently do within a 6-year space. It changes. What changes the way we cool is our powerful processors. So that's the AI application, liquid cooling, the densification of that space. We need more space to actually build these data centers. We don't build out, we build up. So you'll see a lot of 5-story co-location designs. So we're looking at multi-story data centers now. Globalization. A lot of the hyperscalers want to standardize their delivery models, right? They want to build out the same data center in North America, taking in climate, but they want to build out theoretically the same data center across different regions. One thing we learned from COVID was supply chain and how much it impacted us, right? Supply chain surety is critical. This is critical for our clients, but it also changes how we design our data centers. If you can't buy a piece of equipment or get it in time, why would you design it, right? Waterless and power constraints. It's an ongoing thing globally. We have our ESG and sustainability requirements. It is important and imperative as us as human beings that we deliver on these outcomes, not just the global and corporate ESG that we have. We can't have the power and the water to get this additional 100 gigawatts across the world. We have to do it differently. We have to cool differently. So that's where we start focusing on air-cooled technologies and the like. Back to the point 1 is on the liquid cooling servers. So that fits into the application itself. So now we've got a picture of the why, the market, and how it impacts our cooling trends. Then we talk about what are our key drivers for our clients. Really simple, pretty consistent across all the hyperscalers, Tier 1 and Tier 2 providers, right? They want energy efficient solutions. They want sustainable practices in how you manufacture your equipment, how you deliver it, and how you provide it. They want reliability and resilience. That is ultra important, ultra key. The more data centers are impacted in our life, the more critical that infrastructure is on how we do our day-to-day activities. As we all know, with outages of recent, the impacting on flights, the impact to the lives, it matters even more to this day. So your Tier 4 accreditation is critical. Safety and security, everyone's data now lives within the data in the cloud space. So that security on how we develop our platforms, so from a Metasys perspective, how we deliver, how we build it, cybersecurity is key, not just functionality. Penetration testing, IEEE certification, single sign-on authentication, these are all critical aspects of what we do as Johnson Controls, and it matters to our clients. Here I want to touch on a point really on how Metasys now meets those requirements, right? So Metasys as a platform and Johnson Controls as a provider, Metasys is the tool that helps you deliver energy efficient and sustainable outcomes. It takes in data from the environmental space. It optimizes how you utilize your heavy power users, either on the cooling or power infrastructure. And it gives you those insights that you can drive the outcomes that you want for sustainability and efficiency. Johnson Controls as a platform, again I repeat, is secure. Cybersecurity is the basis of our platform and how we deliver it and how we build it out. One thing you'll see in the next few slides is how our portfolio has become more resilient and redundant. A key focus on end-to-end redundancy and resiliency. Not just performance data, not just on how we do it, but it's robust. We have over 130 years of domain experience within cooling infrastructure. We are expanding on what we do, how we play around the power infrastructure. Metasys is that tool that brings those two together, and it also delivers the outcomes our clients want or need. I know this is a little bit noisy, so I do apologize as a slide, but really what I want to point out is where we really are known from our domain experience around Metasys, and this is purely Metasys. DDC level controllers, non-critical infrastructure, right? Because inherently air handling units or airside, they are N+1 design from a mechanical perspective, so you don't need that resiliency at the field level. However, we've seen a big shift now in what our clients want and that resiliency and the redundancy. We've expanded our portfolio from a PLC also solution. So now we have multiple different technologies fit for purpose based on different criticality of infrastructure. So for an air handling unit, you can still go a DDC controller. For your cooling infrastructure around chillers, you want to get something a lot more resilient and redundant. That's your PLC, and again, you can mix and match. This is somewhere that Johnson Controls isn't necessarily known for, or Metasys as a platform. It's around the EPMS or EMS perspective. This is a key player because this drives all the operational efficiencies. You get the insights from Metasys and you deliver the real outcomes to all these devices and systems. So I really want you guys to focus here on the PLC infrastructure. As a platform, we've extended our platform on the CIM, and I'll go into it a little bit, just some highlight features, but we've provided even a more robust application server. ADX is robust. It's something that we've had now since Gen 4, so I think, about 8 years or so since it first was released. Metasys as a platform has been around for over 30 years. It is robust, it is fault tolerant, but we wanted to provide just that little bit more, that data center specific solution. This is a bit more of the sales pitch. Right now we get where the industry is going, where our part plays, and where Metasys fits. So I really want to highlight a little bit of the portfolio, some of the core functions and features. This is your traditional ADX Metasys application. It is robust. It has over 99% uptime and fault tolerance at a server level. It is secure and it supports IEEE 802.1 certification, FIPS, and TLS encryption, single sign-on authentication. It is robust in handling campus-wide solutions. Over 800 devices, 1,000 SNC devices. We're talking about 2.5 million BMS points. It is robust. It can handle it. It can handle campus-wide. User-centric, fully customizable, parent-child or graphical user interface design makes it really easy for your alarm management. So your fault finding, your understanding of which piece of equipment is dependent on another piece of equipment in the cooling and also power infrastructure. Our S&C controller, this is a dual microprocessor controller. It's not dual in the aspect for redundancy, it's split functionality. So dual microprocessor uses different functions. Isn't that right, Sanjay? That's right. It supports redundancy at a network layer, so it supports multiple types of configurations, daisy chain, ring topology, or star network topologies. It's powerful. It is based on a lot of third-party integration off the shelf. We're talking MQTT, Modbus, and the like. User-centric, onboard GUI, so the one you see here doesn't have it, but it has its own LCD screen for the user interface with onboard diagnostics. Traditional offering. We are known, that's our bread and butter in multiple applications. What you'll see here now is our new CIM, Critical Infrastructure Platform. The key differentiator here for us is we have, best way to use it is native redundancy at an application and server level. Right, so that means you have a fully reliable and redundant solution at the application layer now. Not just very high tolerance, it's fully tolerant. It is designed for data centers. It is specific to our users within that space. Our graphics mirror that. So it's layered graphics that are BIM 3D compatible, and it has GIS interfacing. Powerful and open. Now the big thing here is, if you'll see IEC 61850, that is a very standard power protocol for power quality, power measurement, and infrastructure. That's not standard on a BMS operation. So now what we've done is we've expanded to focus more on the power comms, the power interfacing side. That's with the IEC 61850, OPC, and Modbus interfacing. I'll touch on the point again, it is user-centric. One of my favorite features about CIM is the inbuilt document management. You have embedded documentation within the graphical user interface for devices. You click on the air handling unit, you can have the OEM manual, you can have the functionality of that device, an FD, you can have probably ITPs, depends, right? Depends on the priority of it. But that is new to our portfolio and something that we're very keen on from a data center specific mindset. Programmable logic controllers, our PLCs, we've introduced that now for about 3 years. Not a lot of people are aware of our PLC offering. However, this finishes that line of a field level redundancy. We're talking about hot swappable modules with dual power supplies, CPU backup and redundancy. Again, bread and butter for PLC is critical infrastructure, data, SCADA applications around data centers. So it has the microsecond accuracy, full CPU replacement that's very easy with hot swappable modules, and it is user-friendly around the tool-free wiring and changeovers. Inherently, it is secure with the IEEE 802.3 certification, and it's integrated through a lot of power applications inherently on our Modbus TCP perspective or OPC. When we mirror all of these up and marry them all up together, we drive positive outcomes on both infrastructure, power and cooling now. This is what unlocks that space. I'll just click through this, and really again, the theme here I'm trying to really push on is redundancy. We have redundancy at an application level, we have redundancy at a network level, we have redundancy at a field level, and we have devices that are fit for purpose now. End-to-end redundancy, fully reliant, fully resilient solution from Johnson Controls Metasys. Rounding it all up, we understand where the market's going, 150 gigawatts globally. We understand the cooling trends, where Metasys plays. This is about where Metasys delivers. It drives high energy efficient outcomes through accurate and reliable information within the cooling and power infrastructure. It is resilient and reliable as the last slide showed, end-to-end redundancy. If you remember about 6 slides ago, the key drivers and the outcomes our clients want, this ticks all those boxes. It is designed and built and manufactured sustainably. Johnson Controls is an EcoVadis Gold sponsor. We are end-to-end sustainable. It matters to us. We live and breathe it, and all our equipment matches that philosophy. Modular and scalable. Different cost points, different critical infrastructure. You have now an array of different solutions. You can mix and match PLC, DDC, the ADX or the CIM platform. It fits either your cost objectives, your resilience objectives, or your performance objectives. You get to pick and choose. Well, you work with Johnson Controls and we can design what is best fit for your data center. Secure platform, again, certification and standardization on how we deliver our platforms, how we roll them out and how we develop them. I just keep repeating that because it's critical. It's critical for our customers. It's critical for the hyperscaler providers, the tier 1 providers. But I repeat it because that's what we live and breathe. That is what we do. It is a secure platform. It is resilient and it is reliable. We have that domain experience now to deliver based on this key infrastructure. This slide is really what I want to do because we're just really introducing CIM probably globally or at least regionally for the first time. So just these next few slides go into some of the graphical user interface. This is just your standard building layout for energy usage in different language, so excuse that. We've got a high efficiency chiller plant visualization tool here, talking about the set points and the operational functionality of our chillers. Beautiful data and beautiful dashboarding. AHU summary and equipment. So I'll just be very quick through this. This is just really to show you our ADX or the CIM platform has very similar graphical packages. It is purely a Metasys driven product. This shows you the layered view for different systems and interfacing, so fire or power or security systems within the floor spaces. EPMS, so again, around the power infrastructure, something that's not inherent in the Metasys offering now is, and this is a combination of the CIM and our PLC offering. I'll just click through these because it's more of there for a reference point of view from my perspective. What I do want to do though is I do want to summarize the key points from a Metasys perspective and what Johnson Controls is really trying to highlight here. Reliable, resilient, modular, scalable, powerful and efficient. This tool combined with our over 130 years domain knowledge, utilizing what we're known for, especially in the space around chilling, cooling, air handling units, Silent Aire, our York branded devices, you are creating now an ecosystem with an eco partner that drives your sustainable outcomes that is very powerful. We know how air handling units work. We know how to build air handling units. We know how to make them work for the data center space. So for us, Metasys is the brains, it is the glue that brings all these technologies together, gives you your graphical user interface so then you can make smart decisions, smart outcomes dependent on your drivers. So that's the high level overview from a Metasys perspective. Really wanted to highlight where our product has gone the last 2 years, where it fits in the gap from a traditional ADX or Metasys offering, and now how we fill that gap and how we deliver on that promise and drive those outcomes. So thank you. If there's any questions, please let me know. Awesome. Thank you, everyone.